right, want to show you these three governors: Bashir of Kentucky, Whitmer of Illinois, and Pritzker of Michigan. Right now, all at this time, making it very clear as things stand now. I think I said Pritzker of Illinois. It's Michigan for him. But the bottom point is that all these governors touted as Kamala Harris alternatives are in fact saying they're supporting Kamala Harris. In the case of Whitmer, she is in fact co-chairing that campaign. So that's kind of interesting in and of itself. Connecticut Governor Democrat Ned Lamont with us, what he makes of all of that. Early supporter of Joe Biden, says he's supporting Kamala Harris. Where does that stand right now? I think I got that right, Governor. Where are you on this?
I'm strongly supportive of Kamala Harris. Based on what you just heard from Doris Kearns Goodwin, I think you're going to find the Democratic Party is very united. I think this choice is so existential. You're going to find Republicans and Democrats alike are quite united. They know it's at stake.
Some Republicans, and not surprisingly, Governor, are saying it's like you guys, Democrats in general, are just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. That it's a foregone conclusion that it's Donald Trump's race to lose. Do you buy that?
Look, he came out of that convention united. All of his strongest opponents lined up as like a hostage video, and they, sung praises to the dear leader. So it was united. But I think you're going to find the Democratic.
Now, to be fair, Governor, it wasn't a hostage video. I know you don't flip over the guy.
Okay.
But anyway, so finish that.
Fun. I was having fun. But I think you're going to find the, Democratic conventions equally united between, in support of Kamala Harris. It is a continuum, you're right, of, Joe Biden's 3.5 years in office, which, at least from the Democrats' point of view, has made a positive difference for the country. But that's what the election is going to be about.
Yeah. I know everyone has been heralding these 3.5 years of his, but the American people loved it so much that, you would think that he'd have been doing better in the polls. Obviously, that debate changed everything. I get that, Governor. But again, in the case of Kamala Harris, she's his number two. She's part of that record that obviously did not resonate with American voters. What makes you think it will now?
Look, I'm not sure people had questions about the track record. I think, President Biden inherited a economy that was flat on its back, and now it's the envy of the world. I do think there were real concerns about President Biden's age, and I think that weighed in the polls. And as you heard for the last, few weeks, all the questions were about President Biden, and none of the questions were about Donald Trump. That's about to change.
All right, in mind. But again, a lot of Americans, especially Governor, when he would be bragging about the economy and how much better it was when he took over. Of course, he took over still in the midst of COVID. So a lot of people can look at that and either blame Donald Trump or not, whatever. He was elected, and that's all that matters. End of story. But that is not resonating since with Americans who every time they go to the grocery store or try to fill up at the tank, they're seeing some improvement there, but still higher prices than when he took office. She's part of that, right?
She's part of that, but she's also part of the fact that we've added more new jobs in this country than in any other 3.5-year period. One of the strongest, perhaps the strongest growing economy. I just came back from Germany. They were looking at this, convention election with a great deal of trepidation. Their economy is a lot slower in Europe. They're looking with a lot of envy at the United States.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's still early, to your point. Ned Lamont, great catching up. It's been a while.
Neil, it's been a while. Nice to see you.